there! Welcome back to VintageTech. And last episode I did was about Simon, the game where you do dun 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 dun. Yeah, that. Unlike the first episode was going a bit focused more on when I it was an old game but I didn't own it until recently. This one is something very modern, but I still know as a child. Yes, the Game Boy Advance SP. This is actually a revision of the Game Boy Advance, but many people have done videos on the Game Boy Advance anyway, so yeah. This is actually the first model of the Game Boy. There's a few different models of Game Boy Advance. The original model was just Game Boy Advance, but for the rest of the video, I refer to it as the wings, because it really looks like wings. And then the second model, the Game Boy Advance SP, which this is the first Nintendo handheld to feature a clamshell. Yeah, which is going to become featured on every Nintendo handheld up until the 2DS, and then reverted back from the new 3DS XL, and then we're up to Nintendo Switch, which has a single screen, by the way. And then there was the Game Boy Micro, which ditches away the clamshell and in favor of a more casual audience. And for Game Boy Micro, it's important as it's the first Nintendo system designed to feature a D-pad with lines with up, down, left, right. Now, in case you're wondering, this is my left and that's my right. In case you're wondering, well, this is viewing this, you may think, well, this is left, this is right. Don't get confused. There were actually two different models of this Game Boy Advance SP. I think this is the original one, which features a front light. I'll talk more about that later. Now, many people have done videos about the Game Boy Advance anyway, so I think it's a minimum. Well, for long story short, the Game Boy Advance was released in 2001, discontinued in 2007, or 2008, I can't remember. And the Game Boy Advance was very special, as it's not only my first Nintendo console, but it's also the first console that I ever owned. Yeah, well, I did realize that the DS was already out, so I got that too. However, it should be noted that the original DS and even DS Lite are backwards compatible with GBA games. So, enough chit chat, let's talk about the Game Boy Advance SP. Or Game Boy Advance in general, as it's going to be mostly focused on Game Boy Advance. Oh, and by the way, it plays games on these cartridges. In case you're wondering, this is a Jawbreakers, which many people always recognize. But regardless, the sprites used is pretty recognizable. More on that later. When it comes to designs, the Game Boy Advance SP looks more like a miniature laptop, or more akin to a traditional flip-top DVD player at the time. In fact, the Video Now XP may look like a flip-top, may look like a Game Boy Advance SP in terms of design, but it's more of a traditional Nintendo DVD player. On the front, it says Nintendo. Then we have a left and right shoulder buttons, a volume control, a power switch, and a power switch. Open up. Then we have a D-pad, a brightness control, a B and A button, and a select and a start button. Now, this is the model that features a front light. The original Game Boy Advance did not even have a backlight, so they really just, in order to save cost, they just add this button in order to turn it off. The later model's Game Boy Advance SP actually features a flat LCD screen with brightness. Anyway, I'm going to zoom in, see how good it looks. Now, this is the first Nintendo to feature a rechargeable battery. And I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm back. What's nice about this adapter is that it actually uses the same power cable as one of the original DS, which makes them easy to find. The DS Lite, however, uses a proprietary connector, so finding them will be harder to find. In fact, speaking of DS, I still have this power supply. Now, originally when I had the game, I actually have had a fire red model, but later on I got a blue model. Later on, this is my blue model, which my red one doesn't work anymore, so I had to throw it away. So yeah. Now, let's talk about the games. Here's the games I have here. Yep. Now, about these cartridges. The colors are gray, with the exception of the Pokemon games. mainline Pokemon games, except for 2 unique ones. They are colored differently. Now, there's also other types of NES cartridges, such as classic NES series. This is the only classic NES series title I own, which is L2 The Adventures of Link. Mine actually came in my Game Boy Advance, so I actually got lucky on this one. And the other one, it's a Game Boy Advance video cartridge. Now, many of these are published by Majesco, with the exception of the Pokémons, which were made by Nintendo. But the technology used them was done by 4Kids Entertainment. Yeah, and that same technology really I want to use for the juice box, which I don't have. Now, in case you're wondering why some of them have a little label on them, that's because I actually got them from GameStop back when they still sell the retro games. So yeah, very cautious on these labels. They were degrading anyway, so anyway, let's test one of these cartridges out. And let's test, obviously, a first-party Nintendo game. Mario vs. Donkey Kong, which is their first game in this highly popular Mario vs. Donkey games. Now, you can't see the screen prop. Now, yes, I already beat the game. Let's try it. This level.
Here we go.
Now, this. Now, I'm going to talk about these cartridges later.
Mario vs. Donkey Kong. Here we go.
Now, about this is an early model which features a front light. Now, something you forgot to mention, Game of Advance. You see that thing on the back? That's actually for the link cable for multiplayer. I don't have any link cables yet, but I do have something similar, which is it's similar to a link cable, but not entirely compatible. You can't see a screen. I'd rather use the Game Boy player, which more. Mini Mario! So I'm going to test out a third-party game. This is NA Jawbreakers, which is co-published by Warner's Active Entertainment. Yeah, early Cartoon Network's video game license from the late 90s to mid 2000s are often co-published by Warner's Entertainment. Before it became Warner's Entertainment we know today, which is known for Mortal Kombat, Injustice, Middle Earth, and even Scribblenauts, believe it or not. Now, I love to try the game, but here's something. It's Chico's. Here it comes. Woo! Now, since the game you cannot replay levels in any Jawbreakers or IC level, the developers included where you can actually replay levels. And for even more fun, we're gonna go to level 1 street. Now, Jawbreakers so much. Each token. Ed only collects blue. W only collects yellow coins. And A collects red coins. Now, these sprites are pretty recognizable, though in a different way. Does this sprite seem familiar to you, but don't remember being from any Jawbreakers? Allow me to explain. You might recognize them from this crossover video game called Mugen. Yeah, these sprites are pretty. And what they also did, and they also appeared in this NA fan mod called Nightmare on Ed Street. And there's one death. There's also Chico's invincibility, which not only you're not only invincible, but you also have unlimited lives. So yeah. Okay. Had to put some pasta away. Now, let's try. Well, you know, let's try to test out one more GBA game. Some GBA games use save data, but be warned, some use passwords, and that really annoys most people. Here's what I sort out. This is not technically a game, but here's a game that I have that uses save files, and this is the only two games I own that uses passwords. But what's the advantage of you using passwords? Well, for one thing, it makes it easy to cheat. But let's test out one more let's test out two more things. Let's test out this one. Now, Zelda 2 The Adventure of Link. Here's some audio issues. Now let's just have one more. The Game Boy Advance video. Actually, I'm taking fun. No, due to copyright reasons. No. In fact, these things are not compatible with the Game Boy player because, well, the copyright owners may fear that they should record them onto the VCR. However, the VHS was already dying down anyway, even when these things came out. However, the quality was a bit low. If you want to find more info about the Game Boy Advance video cards, I highly check out the Museum Obsolete Media or check out the video by Nintendo, both of which are in the description. Now, let's talk about the accessor. And let's not forget the Game Boy player for the Nintendo GameCube. A system where you play Game Boy Advance games on your television. Its device requires a boot disc to run, as you can still play your regular GameCube games. The boot disc is going needed for startup, which means you can take the disc out as long as you don't press the reset button. And also, but that deserves another video on its own. Okay, now the Game Boy Advance was a nostalgic trip for me, mainly because of how fun the games are. I didn't own that many Game Boy Advance games until I started collecting them later on. Now, as for availability, well, like with any old Nintendo system, they are very so sought after. But especially the games, they're so sought after, especially the licensed titles. One thing I should point out is that Game Boy Advance games are actually emulation compatible, are actually available on the Wii U via the Virtual Console. And in fact, and even Super Mario Advance 4, Super Mario 3, which even though there was already Super Mario Bros. 3 on the on the Wii U's Virtual Console. In fact, something I forgot to mention about is it's an obscure e-reader, which uses cards you have to scan. But in order to do that, you need 2 Game Boy Advance systems, and an e-reader and a link cable. That's a very complicated process, and that's why it failed in America. Now, the reason why I talked about it is because, well, Super Mario has some special e-reader levels, and all of them included by default, even the ones that are not released in America and Europe, and even the European version. Also, I forgot. There was also 10 GBA games that were actually available via the 3DS, which provided battleground, which I was a part of. And one of the titles I own is Mario vs. Donkey Kong.